Now let's connect with the management of Bajaj Auto, Mr. Rakesh Sharma, to understand that what would be the impact of changes in the currency for Nigeria, impact of demon and fuel price hike. Because Nigeria is an important market. Normally with Bajaj Auto, we first understand what's happening to EV in India, but today we want to start and discuss Nigeria. How important is Nigeria for you? Can you just share that number with our viewers, and then we'll get into specifics after that.
Good morning. Yes, Nigeria is our single largest overseas market. As you know, about 50% of Bajaj Auto is exported, and about 25% of that is Nigeria. So, it is a significant value. But of course, we do the entry-level Boxer 100cc bikes mostly there. And we have a very good position over there, which is almost as 55 to 60% market share. So all things considered, it is indeed a very, very important market for us.
We'll break the simple maths here. 50% of your business is exports. Within that, Nigeria is about 50%, which means more than 12%. 25%.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that's a sizable number. I mean, that's a sizable number, almost like a double-digit revenue which you get from Nigeria.
Yeah, about 12 to 15%.
Okay.
Volume, basis volumes, not revenue.
Of course. Volume is what you get from there, and even entry level. Thank you for that very simple, data. Now let's understand the dynamics there. There was a demonetization which was at play, and there is a currency devaluation which has happened. Currency devaluation for an exporter is always great news because you get benefits. So has the Nigerian market which has suffered, or the Nigerian economy which has suffered because of a variety of factors, are you seeing that things are going to improve incrementally for you?
Yes, I think things are going to improve. The situation was quite severe in the last few months in the run-up to the elections, which happened, I think, in March, April. And there was an accompanying demonetization. There was a bit of a paralysis on the policy front at that period, and which encouraged the parallel markets, etc. The transition of power to the new government has been largely peaceful. There have been sporadic incidents. And, I see these signs as the new government, and particularly the central bank, taking control and, putting out policy directives, which is actually very welcome, because there were two exchange rates operating. One was the so-called official one, and then the largely used parallel one to source the dollars. Now with their central bank stepping in, you can see that the effort is to converge the two and just have one. So from a longer term perspective, this is a very, very welcome news if a large market like this starts to get reorganized. This was the case a few years back, then it drifted, and now there is an attempt to reorganize. At the same time, there is a recognition of subsidies which are going for fuel. Those have been removed. Again, this has caused an increase in petroleum product prices, which is also in the short term going to impact the purchasing power and lead to inflationary issues. But again, it's a recognition of the reality, which is all very good, because we are in it over there for the longer term. We are not looking at it month to month.
So, Mr. Sharma, let's assume that things go back to normal in your Nigerian market for Bajaj Auto. So incrementally, what changes? Incrementally, what changes for top line? Incrementally, what changes for bottom line?
Well, see, we used to do about 50,000 units per month. Some, season months, we would do about 60,000 motorcycles per month in Nigeria. In the period of Jan, Feb, March, it even dropped down to something like 4,000 units. And now it is touching almost 30,000 units, so there is a recovery underway. So you can see if this normalcy, and we have to also see how long the consumer will take to digest these things. I think everybody is echoing the fact that things are being systemized, but there will be a short-term pain. Now, how long the short-term is, one has to see. but already the recovery is on its way, and hopefully the availability of US dollars will improve for organized businesses like ours, and that should lead to further improvement in exports from here because our stocks over there are pretty thin now.
So, Mr. Sharma, net, exports have been one space which has been disappointing the street for Bajaj Auto. When do you see the recovery happening and, let's say, back to the normal levels?
Well, I've been saying that it's going to probably take a quarter, but I cannot give you any specific date of recovery because there is no specific one event which we are waiting for. If you understand the root cause of why this decline in overseas markets is there, then you will understand that the recovery is also not a 0-1 thing. It's going to be gradual. It has been largely caused by a cautious stand by the central banks of various emerging markets because they've taken a very cautious approach because of the strengthening of the US dollars and the lack of availability of US dollars. So they've tended to prioritize the more important imports like drugs and pharmaceuticals and in some cases food, leaving much less for categories like automotive. And that is at the nub of the problem, which started quite suddenly and sharply in May, June of last year. Since then, you know that the US dollar has continued to be very strong. It's only recently that we are now getting some news of its softening. We have to see how the central banks respond to it. We have seen some kind of a loosening, but very, very marginal. And if this kind of trend continues and there is no other black swan event, then I suppose we will continue to see some recovery in about a quarter's time, or within the, let's say, within the Q2 of our financial year.
Sharma, why is that Bajaj Auto is not able to develop any new big export destinations like Nigeria, Sri Lanka? These were destinations which I used to track 10, 12 years ago. I have not heard you developing a new market, which in a sense is a market where the two-wheelers could be accepted, looking that you're globally competitive.
I would be delighted to get some ideas from you. We are in 96 countries, and we started with the list of 164 countries, which is the United Nations list, give or take a few, and we are in 96 of them. So, I really don't know where to look at the map. For our portfolio of products, we are in every single market, which is over 7,000 units per annum.
Can I change gears and come back to India and understand what's happening in the EV landscape? Because now we understand that the booster which was given to the entire EV industry in terms of tax advantage, in terms of duty advantage, that is going, and the current EV two-wheeler companies are saying that if you take it away, we will go away. What is happening, sir, in the EV two-wheeler market?
Well, you're right. There has been an abrupt reduction of subsidies under the FAME scheme, which have almost broadly been halved, and therefore the prices have gone up by that kind of an amount for the consumer. And this will, of course, again, in the short term, have a salutary effect on the customers coming into the purchase cycle. I think they will sort of go back and do the maths and see whether it still makes sense. And I still feel at this point also, it does make economic sense. A lot of the people, most of the purchase which was happening because of economic reasons and a little bit because of convenience, but almost nothing for environmental reasons. So the maths is still in favor of electric scooters compared to i-scooters, depending on the kind of daily run which you have. The more the daily run, the better the return is. So I think the consumer will come back to the buying cycle. Of course, the capital cost, the acquisition cost for the customer has increased. So it will shrink the pool a little bit. But that kind of shrinkage will probably hit some of the weaker players far more. And this move will, in fact, accelerate the consolidation of the industry. A couple of years back, or 3 years, till 3 years back, there was a lot of companies which were just importing components, slapping them together and putting them out in the market. There were almost 30, 40 companies. Now you can see that almost 80% of the, 65% of the business is with the top 4, 5 companies. And hopefully this consolidation will continue to roll. And that's good for these companies which are left. And it's good for the customer because that customers will get solid, stable, and reassuring propositions.
All right, Mr. Sharma, really appreciate your time and so glad you could join us.
Thank you.